I'm recording today. It's basic the it's like last week of class, and I want some content for my holiday where I can improvise, see where I can improve, where we can edit to add few things, just for to have like for next season I can prepare much better. Yeah. Okay, we'll start. Just sit comfortably. Close your eyes, palms together. Inhale. Om. 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 Gently release your palms, softly opening your eyes. Okay. So we look into the more at yesterday we talked on to the high level things basically of the abstract things of the Brahman, the ultimate or the what could exist. I mean those are kind of beyond our awareness, beyond our understanding, but we try to understand in what sense it could be, and basically those things are the end goal of our practices of our journey. Today we look into more onto something which we can relate with. So we have talked about the where I put always start with a box saying this is the mind and this is the content of the minds, all those things. So we dive, which basically makes you. So we dive into this aspect of it, which we can understand because everything, our life is correlated with this thing. So today we dive into more aspects which we can relate to, looking into how our soul, our essence gets formed. Okay. So we are starting, I mean, the whole theme of the class is all about the karma. But the main idea behind the class is the choices that we make. So any given moment, any you can take, no problem. It's just casual, just for my own purpose. So this is the choices is the kind of the key thing that we always make. It's something that starts define uh, what kind of experience we have, what kind of experience we get. Some choices make it down to a wrong or a bad experience, or some might give good experience, or some might create certain impact. But this is something we have to make every single moment, not just for our big life changes, but even for tiny decisions to what to eat, what to wear, where to go, what next to do. And so today we look into how these choices impact on us, every single thing. So we are starting with the karma, the aspect of very common term that has been now getting very popularized in the culture with the word the karma. And the general understanding is like the instant payback, kind of revenge, kind of something you did and something you got back quickly, instantly, and that's your karma. And that is not exactly the truth. It is, that's not the definition of even karma. The karma is like it's a Sanskrit word which directly translates into action, and that's the definition of it. Now this action could be anything, like from even your action that you do physically into your life, even your action with your words, the words you speak, even your thoughts, your imaginations, every aspect of it, it's kind of taking a form of an action which we constantly do. So this is where the definition of the karma starts from. Now what happens into the cycle is what happens when we make a karma, when we make an action into our life, it has a cause and an effect. It has a consequence. It will be definitely. And that's where somehow the instant karma of the revenge and things started coming off. Because the action that you make will have some consequence in any direction. Good, bad, means some changes, some butterfly effect, or some anything that happens. So we try to understand that aspect on it. So you, as a person, makes any action. Okay. Now, this action, whatever it comes, it creates an impression. So again, these consequences that we are talking about. So I mean, as in a physical world, there will be some consequences that takes place that's out there. But every action that you make is gonna create some impression within you also. That's the internal game that happens every single time. So at the probably the beginning of the week where I was talking about the bucket, and whatever you do starts getting accumulated layer by layer by layer by layer. So every action that you take, everything that, so the example we took basically that in the beginning of the class, that suppose this is you, an empty bucket, a pure child, a pure nothing, we don't have any quality. And over the time, I mean, the example was like more onto the, if any person is triggering you, someone says some, that person is saying something you, and you get little irritated, little bothered, little triggered, but you don't do take action because it's not nothing something big, but it gets deposited layer by layer by layer, day after day after day after. Eventually at some time this is gonna burst. This is gonna, even in not a single thing that person says, and you're gonna burst out, and the flame and the anger and the eruption happens. That's just one example of it, of how accumulation happens, how things build up, how the impression gets formed. But then this impressions is getting formed with every action from your childhood. The kind of family you got born in, the kind of neighborhood you are born in, the kind of country you are born in, the kind of television you have seen, the kind of shows you have seen, the kind of information you are taking in from the internet. It's all kind of creating an impression onto your mind. Knowingly, unknowingly, without, if you are conscious about it, not conscious about it, the layer is getting deposited inside you, shaping you, shaping your mentality, shaping who you are, shaping your choices, upcoming choices, which we'll see into the cycle.
But surely, I mean, I often wonder with this, do we actually have any free will? You know that
We have free will.
well, but do we? Because all the choices
We come to it.
So informed, aren't
We'll definitely discuss onto it. Let me complete the whole cycle, and it's something definitely. It's very like a debatable topic of free will and the divine will, or the cosmo, or the fate will that universe wants to have it in a way. So at least I hope you got an idea how the impression is getting formed onto you, and it is happening every moment. Every single thought will create that. Every single liking, disliking. Oh, I like this clothes. Oh, like this color. It's constantly creating an evaluation onto the system. Each impression is gonna form a belief system inside you. Now, this is basically where your tiny things is kind of taking a formation of a personality. So if you are getting angry by little by little, eventually down many years, by the time you hit the adulthood, or by the time you hit the old age, you become a grumpy old man or an angry person. just an example how the it starts defining onto your personality.
Did
How
you
you
just look at me when you said grumpy old man? Oh,
I was
something I made.
I was trying to not take that example because but it was like the obvious example what was onto my front head and I was trying to avoid it, but on the flow I couldn't think of any other example.
I take pride in my grumpiness.
No, it's just it's a very like every family, even if like we grew up with a grandfather and grandmother who have been very angry, irritated, shouting every time whatever we did. I mean, like I know I have heard about some families, some friends where they had a very nice grandparents, not mine. So I understand how the people with the age uh, starts having the personality into it. The kind of the action reaction they play out, it starts becoming the part of their life, the part of their personality. And it's because it's something we can see it. That's why I took this example, because we see people growing into something. Now it could be any other whole aspects of being a kind person also. With one kindness, one niceness, you start becoming a kind, compassionate person.
I've never understood that. I mean, people must want to be grumpy. Because if you didn't want to be grumpy, surely you'd change it. I don't know.
It's eventually it's a very slow process which happens, and it's very difficult to observe our own self, how we become. We can never tell how we are, but our friends, our family can tell, oh, you are this kind of person, you have this particular nature that is very common in every day of your life. It's very difficult to see those aspects within us.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I've always been, self-reflective, I suppose. I've
it's
always,
it's still it's still we are beyond, we cannot, we have the field of awareness, we try to see things into our own self in a certain limit way with certain lens, certain filter,
yeah,
and it's only in certain direction we can see.
mm,
Other people can see from different direction. There are three people, and that's the beauty of it. There are three different people, they have their own lenses of their mindset,
yeah.
and they will be perceiving you, the same you, in a very different way. This will be complete different opinion, different opinion, different opinion.
I guess people from the outside, they will be able to see the shape of your ear better than you ever will. So,
In a way, in some aspects, yes. In some aspect that we cannot see.
yeah, yeah.
It, but yes, either I mean, it's always you who you will be your best knower,
Mm.
because you will be knowing all aspects of your all shades of your story, from where you're coming from, where it is things are happening. You will be understanding more. But yeah, other people have the better read. So this is the kind of a belief system that starts getting formed into your whole, and which start creating your whole essence, the person you are. You can call it your personality also, your soul also, in a form of it. Now based on to what you are, whatever next action is gonna you take will be coming out from this system only. If you are an angry person, you will be taking the next action in a way with the anger. If you're a greedy person, your next choice will be more of how to benefit myself. If you are a happy person or a person who takes care of other people, you'll be doing something that will kind of helping other person. That's the kind of a nature of the what system you are building up slow by slow, and that's the where the your next action comes. The moment the next action comes, this is the where the choice window opens. Now that this choice window, I mean, you will be always be having a choice either to take a good action, bad action, or right action. But the majority of the case is something the two choices comes down to. Some choice, the choices that makes you happy, makes you feel good, makes you feel comfortable, or you take choice where you are doing something for others. So they try to put it into the words of the good or the pleasurable, I will say. the pleasurable choices or the right choices. Okay. So the right is where you are kind of doing something right, when you are kind of, I mean, doing something good to the larger network, to other people, to the surrounding you, not doing for your own self. Pleasurable is for your own self. This is for others. Okay. But understand, mainly the what happens is whenever you make another action, there are only two process happens. Either you make it on to based of instinct, based of whatever you at the on the flow, whatever you felt that this is makes sense, this is makes right, and you just do it. Uh, or you take a pause, you think about it. Just 1 second, sorry about it. Or you take a moment of pause and you think what exactly would be the best choice, what would be the right thing, what would be helping the larger people, the other people, instead of making things that are good for my own self. So this is where the kind of majority of the choices happens in our life, that we try to whatever choice we make it that serves us, even if it is for our otherwise it's just for our family or other your own self, but it is again, it is somewhere it is gonna giving you some benefit where you are correlated with it, even if you're, even if you're being with a partner, being with your lover, it's basically it's making you happy, making you feel love inside you, and that's the kind of relationship you are trying to have. I'm not defining right and wrong here, I'm just telling it's there's always a connection that you, it's basically you kind of serving yourself, something making you, it's and you try to take choices which helps that. So in this most cases you try to take choices which are most familiar or comfortable, and that's the way most of the life hour goes. Or we take choices which we have been seeing around what others people are doing, trying to be into the group, trying to be into the normalized of the attitude of the people. So that's where the kind of the whole way of the choices you are make based on to the kind of personality you have, and based on to the whatever actions and reaction action you take, this choice window, and this is where your free will plays out. It defines as, maybe you can call it as the good karma or the bad karma. So if you do something where you are stealing something, even if it's gonna benefit you, even it's gonna make you rich into your own business or a family, there will be some negative impression that is gonna get formed inside you, onto your mind, onto your greediness, onto your guilt, onto your self-worth. There will be certain impressions getting formed. You keep doing that activity again and again, it start forming onto your becoming the personality of your kind of a habit of your kind of the person you are, the whole essence of it. So this is where the kind of the cycle plays out of the karma. So from every action you take, creating the impressions onto the mind, and the forming of the belief systems of this they call it as the samskara, kind of the accumulation. Impressions of the mind is basically they call as vrittis on chitta. Mind is the chitta, vrittis are the impression, also the fluctuation that you can call it.
And it is funny, isn't it? Read a thing a while ago that actually people get more pleasure from giving than they do receiving. And so I don't know. I mean, the pleasure of giving and doing right.
This yes, when we come on to the good and the bad karma, it's always it's very big gray area.
Yeah, yeah.
From certain things, for certain guidelines, we can see that yes, this is good thing to do and this is bad thing to do,
Yeah.
and for that is. But from if you go into dive into everyday choices, if you start taking on the nitpicks of exact which is what to do, you start getting whole into the gray area where we can't say which is right, which is wrong.
And so, yeah, people do good things just
Yes,
to flatter their own
exactly.
egos.
So that's where the comes the key point of what your intention is. So your inner intention when you are doing your action is what counts on to what kind of impression that is you're getting deposited inside you. So anytime there might be some very good charity work you might be doing onto your outside world, and it will look like a very good karma, but inside you are rejoicing of your name and fame and wealth and the ego and the boosting of those aspects. So again, how do you define it, the good or the bad karma? But again, it just comes to the subjective, to the person. Even if you're helping onto the larger network, the internal state that you are forming here is kind of being egoistic, being of proudness, you are this. So this is where the game of the intention plays out when you are doing your action. Same with the negative action. Some you might be trying to actually help someone, but the other person might be seeing it that you are trying to cheat or trying to make benefit of it, or might want some reward after that, something kind of those aspects. But your heart is pure. You are trying to do it at more as benefiting the person in certain way. So
I mean, surely that is the way you are, you know, that you actually feel deep inside. So I don't know, I'm going to say again, I don't know if we have free will, really. I really don't, you know,
this is yes, it is there. It is there. So what is happening here again? The intention or the inner state. Why every today is
well, I mean, that is already said.
or your inner state. Okay, this is for the whatever you are cultivating inside for the this. Coming to let's discuss on to the free will and another will. Let's say so. What happens is when whatever you are, whatever the personality, whatever you storage you have onto it, the kind of the fluctuations that we have talked about in the beginning of the Ashtanga yoga, the way the fluctuations of mind come and we try to reduce that fluctuation, and that is the state of yoga. So this is where the free will, the idea of the will coming. So based on to whatever you have a storage, impulse comes that okay, I am getting an impulse that I want to do this, and I just follow the impulse and do it. Now, and you might call it as your free will, that this impulse came and this impulse is making me not impulse, you are just saying that okay, I am getting a desire to go and have an ice cream, and I will have an ice cream, and I am free, I can make a decision of having a choice to make a free will of it. Okay, I mean on your surface it will appear that it's a free will, that where you are able to make a choice of it.
I don't think so. It depends where you live, doesn't it? I mean, if you
So
live,
that's what I'm talking about now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The impulse is coming from inside that is making you desire the ice cream,
Yeah.
desire a sweetness into you. The impulse, the whole anatomy. I can talk about anatomy also. I can talk about the energy aspect also. I can talk about the mental psychology also.
Yeah.
All three roles plays out simultaneously the moment you think of an ice cream. The whole biochemical hormone starts triggering, giving you impulses for your the how tastier ice cream will taste if you're gonna have a but your favorite flavor. How your mind starts imagining, visualizing, almost make you feel the taste into you. I'm just giving an example of ice cream. Take it and go for a high level for any addiction of the any of the drugs, and it's the way the mind works. Go for any of mindset of any politician or any military person who are wanting a war, who wants to have a fight, to have an ego. Go on a high level and think on what kind of impulse they are giving. They are on their high horse that they are thinking that they are running the country, they are want to do it certain way, and they have the free will of it. But what the kind of impulse that is coming from them, and what based on to the impulse is basically what kind of storage you have. and from the storage you are following those impulses to take the action, and then you're calling I have the free will of it. And that's the where the reversing of the yoga comes. When we have talked about the first two classes, restraining, doing something is easy, it's not, but once you start restraining these impulses, once you start not taking these impulses, then the biggest fight starts coming from inside. Then your mind starts agitated, fighting, why there's a lot of resistance, fight, negativity, trauma, a lot of things starts coming out, because then your mind, your ego, the personality, what you have done, and I'll come to a personality also. The fight starts begin here when you stop taking the impulses, stop taking the instincts. This is where the distinction come between the animals and the humans. This is the where the idea of where they, I'm in general talking, not about the certain now, because the internet, I have seen so many human behavior in the animals in the video that I can't even say that they can call as animals. They have a personality. So, but then I'm.
All of that stuff, I mean, for, like if you've never seen an ice cream, you wouldn't desire an ice cream, So
Yeah.
that is from your background, isn't it? And there is the desire of an ice cream. I mean, now I want ice cream and drugs, right?
Yeah.
But so my desire for an ice cream is because I know what an ice cream is all about. I know that I like the
Yes. Yes.
taste, the texture, and all that stuff. But inside my body, it's a hot day. My body wants sugar and stuff like that. So there is also that, an actual chemical reaction going on when you think of the ice cream. There's a thought that that's a good idea. So I mean,
It is. See, it's
free will, isn't it?
it in a way it's not free. See, in my definition, the way I am not, I don't know, it's just my definition of free will. It is when this impulse comes, and this impulse could be a good thing, that okay, I'm feeling dehydrated, I need something liquid into my body, and it is good for me. Yeah, so I'm just telling, this is my the impulse comes, and the impulse gives you the choice to take yes or no.
So you're saying
And no,
where the free will is, right?
no, it's where I'm saying that you exist as a self, whatever you are, out of the. Now I'm saying it like you are kind of. You are in a very independent state where you are not getting pulled by the impulse into either taking yes or the no. The impulse is not carrying you to push you that want to take the ice cream or want to take any habit. I mean, like, you understand, right? It's not like I give one examples of the people who are addicted to something. Maybe for the sugar also. Even for me, I'm very. I prefer like to have sugar or something. Let's just take the example of having sugar into the tea. Okay, I know it is bad, and the impulse comes that I want to have sugar in my tea. Now, when the impulse comes and in I want it, it's like I prefer to it. There is nothing, no one is wrong. I understand that there's nothing much you're gonna have, but I'm trying to, that impulse is kind of making me, push me to take this, and I'm kind of giving into that impulse. I'm getting lured into the impulse. I'm getting attracted by that impulse, that okay, it's fine, it will make me nice, it will make a nice cup of tea or nice of this, and and then I'm choosing it. Sometimes I not choose it also, even the impulse comes and not choose it also. This is the where I'm trying to tell you, the self where you are independent to free without any impulse or pushing come to you. So you can free will, where you choose either yes or no by 50-50%. Understand, right? The 50-50% as the aspect of it. There is pure 50%. Either you can, in this state where you are free, you are, nothing is binding you based on to the who you are completely able to either choose this or that. Forget about the whole example of the addiction or choice. Any choice I'm talking about. You are in a state where you are either perfectly capable, either choose yes or no. There is nothing driving force that is making you make 70% of pushing you of you to make yes, and 20-30% making you to choose no. This state comes when you are out of this cycle, when you are out of this box. So when we come to the box that we are discussing about, the mind that we have trying to put it, the contents of the mind that we have discussing. So that day we talked more onto this higher level, subtle level. So your belief systems, your intentions, your will, going down your desires, emotions, your many other aspects, even your understanding, your perceptions, your cognitive ability, your memory. I mean, even your impressions. Even I put the karma aspect over here. Downline to your thoughts, the thought patterns, thoughts, expressions, and based on to the thoughts, the kind of actions you will take. So I'm trying to put the whole mind, the kind of the system that makes you as your personality onto a scale, something you call it at higher level, lower level. Another way to see is your conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind. Conscious mind is all that in the field of your awareness. In the field of awareness that we have talked about, in the whatever the things that we can be aware of. So this becomes your conscious. Then there are things which are kind of learned by your impressions, the accumulation, the instinct, the impulses, or your habits, your the way your habit is getting formed. So you are taking actions based on to the how things have been. So that becomes your subconscious. And there is a whole world of things which are we are not ever aware of our where our belief system, where our intention, how what kind of karma we we are forming into the system. So there was again that aspects of your unconscious also comes. So this is like a whole range of it, from a very subtle, when you close your eyes you start feeling your all your thoughts and the patterns, and eventually with your meditation, with your practices, you start moving out onto the deeper layers of this, the state of the self that I'm talking. Once you cross this whole mind aspect, and the state of being into the observer or awareness, or the state of the self, this system is kind of out of this box. Once you start coming onto this state, this level, this bracket of your life, your field of awareness starts having this also into the range. This is where you are free of all of these, the impulses, the things that are, this is free. So that's why they call liberation the freedom. Because here why we are liberated, because we are not governed by what things are going into this system. So no matter what the worst of the worst things are happening within the system of your mind, once you are here, you are free. You are not this. Okay. So this is where your once this your ego starts happening, once this forming your personality, forming your basically this starts taking the form of your ego in some way. The ego is the identity. Your based onto the system, the framework that you have, the way this awareness is identifying with certain set of the system that is there onto it, the certain personality framework of a good person, of a um, rich person, of a tall person, or there's a whole consciousness of a European person, of another country. It's like every have as a certain set of personalities template. That's the exact term I will use, and that's how things are from the higher reality. The templates of the life exist, and then they choose to identify with any of those templates, and then once the identification starts, the ego starts forming, that you identify with the certain sets of the karma. Now I try to explain onto the they call as the three types of karma. And this is where I have to come to the, so there they say there are three. The first is the past, the current, mm, past, or you can call it as birth, or the future. I'll just tell the Sanskrit names for them. Where did I go? This is karma yoga, karma, current action accumulated, and this life, prabad, sanchit, kriyama. I mean, they call it as, I mean, the whole idea is where the moment you are born with certain qualities, certain personality templates, which is defined. Um, we don't know scientifically. We don't know why those behavior patterns are coming into from the childhood itself. We don't have the idea in scientific in Western philosophy. We don't have the idea of rebirth, so we don't see it into those. We put it in like the way the upbringing is happening, the way the genes happening, the way the family tree is happening, and then those things are getting carried on, creating a certain set of behavior pattern. In Eastern philosophy, in every Buddhist, Indian, they all talk about the rebirths. Whatever you were onto the past life and what kind of accumulation you had into the past life, and if the accumulation is deep enough, very strong enough, it will be get carried on to your next life also. So it's not like everything gets carried out, it's just there's a deeper aspects which doesn't gets removed, they get carried on to the next life. So this is where the things that you are born with, what is already there in your system.
I was adopted when I was a baby.
Oh,
So yeah, it's a really interesting thing that
yes,
I met my birth mother 3 or 4 years ago, and in a lot of ways we're so alike. You know, we really are. We dislike a lot of the same things. You know, water, and there's quite a lot of things that nothing to do with my upbringing. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, I think on a really deep level,
it is.
I think we kind of different. Actually, yeah. The real, you know, from what I've seen of myself.
Yes,
So yeah, it's super interesting.
it's very nice actually. Oh, it's good that, so those impressions are kind of you born with, you have that, you can't do much about it. It's a choice, it's a something it came. uh, one way of seeing is that we don't have a choice and we are getting born into this life or this family. And some philosophies, some say that at soul level you are choosing your own uh, birth or the template or the reality or the family that you want to get born with. Other philosophies say that based on to whatever the system you have, or also what kind of your intention or your inner state was there at the time of the birth, and it that puts you into the certain set of the streamline of the reality or the this. I don't have the space. I just wipe this off. So we are talking about now. I'm trying to take you into more the aspects of the rebirth, the cycles, and the how your future gets defined also. So the way the streamline of realities that I have talked about, different lives, different permutation combinations, different way of you living, and at soul level, which is unmanifested, kind of, or the awareness or the consciousness just goes into one of the choosing one of the streamlines and start flowing into it. So as I said, the three different philosophies. Either there is no choice, and we just get born into any of the family one, family two, family three. That's one another option. Second is whatever your content is. If you were like a very happy child, the next whatever you choose, the family you're gonna come take birth in will be a very happy family, happy surrounding, happy siblings, kind of a life. So this is the second philosophy where they trace what is your the kind of system you have, the impression from the before, the content of the soul. That's the kind of the system it's based. The third aspect, again, it comes with the choice, with a conscious choice. And that's the philosophy where it comes, where the soul, because the soul is basically you. I mean, by the time it goes into the streamline, into the family, taking birth and becoming an adult, we forget the whole system of what you were, and we have a different identity as a separate, but the soul is you. And the soul has an understanding what kind of family I should choose to give me what the soul will want, a larger growth onto the experiences, a larger going back to the bigger identities. So again, that yesterday we talked about how the Brahman is onto the top, the ultimate reality is top, sending its consciousness down to certain person, certain life, experiencing life, going back. From the soul perspective, which is unmanifested, it doesn't desire wealth, money, fame, or in a way, in a higher perspective, I'm talking about, it's not gonna choose those things. It's gonna choose experiences, different kinds of experiences. So if a soul has taken, suppose, 1,000 birth, if you have taken 1,000 birth in a very happy family, rich family, comfortable life, everything very nice, lived 1,000 years, at the by the time the soul, every time, understand, every time you die, you're just gonna come back here only. You start having your field of awareness will have this when you die. And you know that, okay, for 1,000 life I have experienced the same comfortable life, same experiences, same child, and I'm bored as
It would be so
completely.
boring, wouldn't
And I want experience. The way we choose our movie experiences, that okay, I've watched enough of comedy, I want some horror in my life. And that's the kind of the soul is, because for the soul perspective, this is all illusion, this is all a movie screen, this is all where it can project any creation, create any family, anything, and go and experience and then come back. This is the Maya, this is the illusion they talk about. But then the screen is illusion, the world is illusion, the family, the people might be illusion, but the experience that souls feel when from this illusion, those experiences are real. Those belief system, those things that get etched onto the soul is real. If the soul goes into certain death or certain horrific accident, and the pain gets stored, it it will become a part of the soul, even if it comes out of it, where that the whole pain of separation, whole pain of being abandoned, or whole pain of losing someone, anything, just remains onto that. So this might be the illusion, we call it the illusion, the Maya, the false, we are not the body, we are not the mind, but this is through the way the experience that is happening is real. You that is cannot, no one can deny. And the more the reality, our current generation, the way the technology and everything is moving forward, we are all coming into the same experience of it. You go with the virtual reality, with the whole screen of the thing, and the kind of experiences it is building up, it's the same. It's just the same, that you're just putting on a VR, getting lost into some streamline of the world, and then coming back and being, oh, this is me. So this is where the kind of the birth, the aspects of birth take place. Once you take the birth, you don't have the choice, you have to play the game. So this is again the aspect of the free will that comes into the play. Once you have chosen the family, and you have chosen the whole framework, you go to certain school or certain career and certain way of dying. Now you have the only free will how you want to go. You can go as a very peaceful person enjoying every aspect of life, or you can go crying about everything that you come across. You can go about hating that I don't want this, I would prefer this, I don't want this, I prefer this. No matter wherever, the streamline will be throwing you these options only because this is what you chose. But you start discarding that why I'm in this life, I don't want this life, I don't want this family, I don't want this to be in this, I want to some other country, some other wealth, some other partner or something. And that's the kind of it's your attitude, your intention, whatever your inner state you are holding. That's the only free will you can have it. You can become a monk and you can go through the life whatever the chosen of the streamline of the life, and you can do that. You have the freedom to enjoy whatever is coming onto the way and go through it from it, or you just cry about everything and throw tantrums and then go to the dying stage. So that's where another free will aspect is. That is you have.
Yeah, I still don't know if it's free will. You know, like, I mean,
Whatever, if it, you can be, but yes, it is an option you can change.
yeah,
It is a choice you have. It might be the system might be whole crying about it, that what kind of birth I have taken in a war torn country, having bomb dropping on my head just outside of my window. But then it's like, then there is a whole aspects of choosing peace, forgiveness, love into your heart, and go through the whole phase, through the whole cycle.
I mean, the choice, and it would be a choice, I agree that is made to, you know, to embrace peace or revenge, for example. I mean, that would be driven by your soul, right? You know, that would be still driven by your past lives experiences. I mean, I'm just.
It does. It does.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the way the soul goes, it goes. There is soul level 1, soul level 2, soul level 3, soul level 4. There is a higher soul has there. Each soul, each over soul has their own agenda. Each soul has a bigger picture to see. This soul will be having certain limited awareness. This will be have a bigger picture limited awareness. This will be having a bigger understanding that choosing this family tree will be much better decision for your experience and your growth and the things from the higher perspective. So yes, it goes ultimate. This is where kind of the way of the your divine will starts playing, that we surrender of our whatever limited vision, and we try to listen to the kind of, they say that this is the god will or the higher will of yourself,
Yeah,
and you follow this.
but even that will, I mean, like you were saying, if you've gone through 1,000 lifetimes of, you know, being king or living in
Yeah.
luxury or whatever, I mean, there's a point where, you know, it's just your soul is going to be, there's no choice.
So-
it's going to go, we need something different. We need, you know, I can't do that again. And so that's not a choice anymore, is it? I know I'm
No,
arguing semantics a little bit, maybe, but
see so it's just that on one of the theory is from the higher level, once you come out of the your basic system of it, there is only one will that exists. So you give up your whole idea of free will, you give up the whole idea of the identity with it, and the whole universe in a very synchronous motion of right coincidence, right perfection, right everything, right meeting of this person, this word to this word, it plays into the synchronous aspect.
yeah.
Even the beauty of this game is once you start going inside and you come out of your mental juggle of free will, divine will, which choose which choices and this. Once you come out of that cycle and you just stop asking those questions and just sit and watch, and you see whatever you were doing is the divine will, is the only thing, is the perfection of the world, of the flowing of the higher cosmos of it.
I've seen a little tiny bit of that myself.
And that's how it is.
Wondrous thing. Yeah.
And that's how it is.
Just going through meeting the people you need to meet and go to the places that you need to go.
Yes.
Yeah, and just I didn't, you know, I was choosing with this, you know, with all my choices.
Yes.
Just through, should I go there or there or stay there? That feels better. Not looking at the wires and all that stuff. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah,
So
while that-
that's how it starts playing out. Because from at higher level it's just perfect synchronicity, they say. everything. They are not doing taking choices from this system. They are taking choices from some higher system, and that higher system is perfectly synchronized in a way of the way things happen.
Yeah.
So from there, they are not like multiple things, multiple choices, or this.
Yeah.
Whatever they are doing is the what the one single will synchronicity takes place.
Okay.
So that's the perfection of the world. That's the actually the highest enlightenment. When they start going up, they start seeing that whatever is happening into the world, everything, even the wrong things, even the things, are perfect dot perfection, and this is what is needed in this moment.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of perception the enlightened people have get.
Yeah.
Start seeing into it. We can't see. We, from our narrow perspective, we can't see. We will cringe about it. We will fight about it. Why this is unfair is happening. From their perspective, they start seeing it's
The former
the bigger, yes, the bigger perspective. What is good for the right moment of the way the things are, and what needs to happen.
Yeah. There's no bad things or good things.
No, no, I mean, no. Even the bad villains are needed to move the story ahead.
Yeah.
Even a movie, they always have a good hero and a bad villain, and then there's some fighting, some scenarios, and but it takes the story ahead. It eventually the victory happens. Eventually, the people find the courage in themselves, get the belief into themselves to go against of something. So that's one way of the understanding of the will that we have discussed. Now then is comes to the second is the one where whatever after getting birth, you have found got no choice. You have certain template and you have to deal with it. You might be so so that's the kind of karma that is already decided, pre-decided choices. Now the second is the way you grow up and the kind of karma you build up. Uh, is something, again, it's something that you can work or you cannot. I mean, it's the same way that once you go become adulthood and then you look back to the childhood and then say see how your parents have treated, how your parents have brought you up. They might have done something better that you might have a different adult. I mean, the kind of trauma you got from anything, even in the school activity, not in the parents, or the teacher have said something, or the kind of surrounding you got. So it's something that gets over the lifetime. It's your kind of karma that gets built up, gets accumulated. The system of the impression starts happening, and this is something you have to deal, you have to work with. So this is where you start your meditation journey in whatever age, and you start looking on to the all your issues, your faults, what is the fluctuations we have talked about. Then you can see that certain things are coming from your past behaviors, in the certain things are coming from your childhood behaviors, and certain things you can't even see why it is happening. So that might be coming from the pre-birth or the birth or your family tree or the gene or the some past life the things are. So that's a kind of the look into, when you look into your own system, you start seeing all those aspects of it. The third one is the very interesting one. Whatever you're gonna do right now is gonna create your future reality. So it's the kind of your karma that you're gonna get. Now this is where the whole payback option and the revenge option. So it's not like the revenge of it is. It's just it's not like revenge. The universe is punishing you for doing something wrong. It's just showing you the mirror. It's kind of making you realize that this is not in alignment, not in balance with who you want to be or with your path or something. So this is where your the current action. So if you are making any current actions, if you start playing video game, and if you at this any moment and you start playing the video game and you start liking it and you keep on playing, getting addicted or getting hooked onto it. I mean, no, that's I can't frame the example onto it, but I mean the whole idea is like whatever actions you start doing right now, it's gonna you will the future will be defined onto it. I'm just trying figuring out the good example of it. I don't want to go with the angry or the addiction or the hunger or the ice cream.
So if you got obsessed and you start looking at cars and you want this car,
Yeah.
stuff like that. That stuff can build up into an obsession where you go, right, your future is that. And then
it's
you
it's a
surface
it's a it's a
examples.
few it's again, yes, the kind of future, yeah, again the whole idea of the, if you start going investing your energy into one system, then your whole next, the most of your experiences, again the video game experience, you might start for playing 1 hour and 1 hour,
Yeah,
but the kind of down the line of 6 months, 1 year, your 10 hours will be of a day will be going into playing the games. But it's just one example, again with the example of your own behavior pattern, getting hooked to the mobile also, the way you are like the way scrolling things from one thing to another, one thing to another, one thing to another, um, keep changing from one post, one app, your mind is completely switching, dissatisfied, discontent to whatever you are getting, you are not, you're liking for 2 minutes and you're done, like I'm bored now, I want something different, and you switch. And that's a kind of uh, the neural wiring training of your mind, or what is pattern that is building up slowly, slowly, slowly. Eventually it's going to build up, and the kind of reality will become that no matter what you food you're going to eat, you eat for 1 or 2 times and you get bored, and you will like, I want something different, something, I want something, craving something good. You meet some person as on a date, you meet date for a few days and you'll be like bored, and now there's nothing good, or do you start finding a lot of faults and you want something other partner or another person to date with. The kind of shifting of the pattern starts happening. Even with the reality, even if I'm going to the good side, the day you start thinking, okay, now from this day I'll be the most kind, compassionate person I become. You start taking your all future actions, choices, becoming the kind, compassionate person. How the reality reflects about it. You give the kindness to the universe, or all your choices is based on to the kindness. There will be certain initial gap, certain delay for a universe to reflect. So you might be having doing the kindness, compassion for a year or two, and you still be getting people across in your life where they are being unkind to you. They are kind of hating you. They are kind of taking benefit of you, the kind of experience. But you still pursue through that, go through that, even those experience. And down the line of 5 years of, I'm just giving an example, 5 years of your kindness, not once you empty your box of whatever the karma that is there for you to trigger the unkind people into your life, once you empty the box, every time whatever you gonna meet, the people around you will be kind to you, will be helpful to you. And this is again not a way of philosophy or a belief or a myth or a spiritual talk. This is a science. It's just that it's our mind cannot take understand so many factors that is governing playing into this box game. So we cannot say that okay, because I'm kind for with everything, then that's why I'm getting all these people. But that's the whole way it plays out, and that's the I'm trying to explain you in the system.
Is that's to do with our vibration as well, isn't it?
This is,
Is it not
yes,
the case that our vibration
this is
attracts the
where,
right
yes,
kind of
they where they, yes, the whole idea of the manifestation,
yeah.
or attracting the wealth, attracting partner of the this uh, plays out where they, you say that you need to hold in your box, you hold, if your box have a lot of contents of whatever, you try to hold a vibration in a state of being wealthy or being the whole, the general spiritual community is all about the either abundance of the wealth or finding a life partner for you. I mean, there's a whole market of it who are selling into these terms, and their idea is just to, you hold the different techniques of holding this vibration and attracting it. But I'm just giving my, I mean, that's the system, that's the it ways works. I'm giving my opinion onto it after this now.
Yeah, no,
This it doesn't actually gonna work in that way. The see, the science is, yes, if you're gonna hold kindness into your heart, you will get heart kindness in return.
yeah,
Okay, but that will only happen if you have emptied all your content from this. So if you are high, if you still have a pain in your heart when someone has been unkind to you, and you still hold the pain inside you, you will get a person into your life who will be unkind to you, who will trigger that emotion out of you, and then you still hold your kindness even if you're feeling into that unkind person. And then you, once you this gets cleared out, then you're gonna have the whole experience of getting all the kindness back to you. Same, I'm putting it into the terms of the whole the twin flame, the soul, or the life partner, or the opposite person. It's a very, another way of understanding of attracting the other person. If you are gonna have a person or a guy, you're looking for it, and the kind of the people you attract into your life in your way of the dating, they will be coming into your life to trigger out things from your box in different ways. And you will be thinking, why I'm not meeting the right person, why I'm not getting the right being to in my life. But it's because you are empty, your box is not empty, it needs to be empty. This is the whole soul purpose, this is the whole soul understanding, to clear things out, to give you an experience where you come out of this. Once you do that, once the box is empty, and then you hold your the vibration attention or whatever the things they teach, then you gonna, the right person is gonna come to your life, or the right wealth is gonna come to your life, or the right job is gonna come to your life, and you're gonna get it. But this, the soul higher purpose is emptying this box. That takes the priority, that takes the precedence, that takes the importance. Your, no matter what you're gonna hold is not gonna give you, which doesn't align into your path, into the live stream that we have talked about. If it doesn't align with this path, it doesn't work, actually gonna work. So I mean, this is just, again, this is my personal opinion, my personal idea.
I've experienced that.
Because I have seen many person who have been doing this, and it's like, but it doesn't actually work in that way.
Yeah, I mean, as far as getting a job and doing this and accumulating wealth, I mean, I don't know. It's not something I look to, but yeah, I've had an experience of that being somebody who's done me a load of good and
Yes.
seemingly a load of bad, but the load of bad was definitely equal to the load of good. You know, it just drew out all of my past emotions and
Yes.
feelings
Yes.
of being abandoned and lots of stuff that I was like, oh my God, you know, I recognise this feeling. And yeah, it took me right back into my childhood, and I was able to really have a good dig about
Yes.
in my childhood experiences and go, oh, there's a load of stuff that I'm carrying still with
And that's
me.
what people, I mean, these days they cannot see how they are becoming as a reflection for you, helping you in a way. They, the moment they start they seeing, and the moment the issue starts coming, and they just fight back, they break up, they go to another person, another thing, another story start beginning. But they are not trying to see that it's their content.
Yeah.
If it wouldn't be in their system, they wouldn't even have felt anything. A person might tell you 10 different things throughout, or a partner might tell you 10 different things throughout the day. You might be unbothered about the 9 things. There would be just one thing that will be triggering you, making you go hyper about it. Why this person is nagging about this one thing? Why that particular person thing? Why that just particular thing? 10 things have gone, nothing, you didn't feel anything. But one particular thing, because it's in your system,
Yeah.
it's pulling you out, it's pulling you in.
Yeah.
People need to understand that this is there, it's helping you to come out. And it now, it's my term that now have recognized, because this system is deep, this system is unconscious. Now something is coming from the unconscious, then I take my time to sit through it, feel it, process it, become neutral about it, become free about it, become not getting pulled into it, and then I can move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So
Awareness is the greatest agent of change, as
yes.
somebody said to me. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah,
Yes.
really
So this is where I just want to summarize the aspect of how your future gets created. Every experience that you feel is like kind of a mirror reflection to you, trying to take out your system out. And if you want to have certain experiences, you start holding that certain feel inside you all the time. If you want the kindness from other person, you hold the kindness for every person all the time, even if the person is unkind to you. And then once you do that, you will be start getting kindness from every random person.
I found that to be a temporary thing, unfortunately.
Temporary thing.
I've had it for a while and it's fallen away.
because yes, it takes time. There is a delay. It doesn't happen. People start doing it for 6 months and they say, I'm doing for 6 months, 1 year, and nothing is happening. You need to empty the box. Once you are done that, once the content of your karma is you have cleared enough, which like now the higher soul see that it no point of bringing a person who is unkind to you, because you don't being unaffected, you are unaffected about it, and then that person won't be coming to your life to unkind of about it. So this is the way the kind of your reflection, the loop, the giving back, the kind of way works, which we common culture has talking about as the instant karma, the revenge or the payback or the punishment from the universe. But this is basically a kind of a reflection, kind of helping you to bring out the deeper aspects of you. And once you have crossed that, all experience will be good for you. Because always understand, this is a movie screen. The soul is creating it, it's choosing, it can create instantly. I mean, basically it's not soul also, it's basically you sitting behind creating everything in an instant, every second. And that you have the power. We think that, yeah, we are the world and this is a whole logic, there is this person coming into this life and this is happening. No, from this perspective, it's just a movie screen projecting whatever they want to. So any experience could be created anytime in a magic.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there is a thing, isn't there? If you think you live in a terrible world, then you live in a terrible world.
Yeah, because that's what serving us. I mean, the kind of world we live right now, our soul might be having something going on where they want to put us into this kind of a world to go through it, maybe. So let's see how things builds up in coming years. Okay. Okay, we'll just do the closing now. I've already exceeded 5 minutes. Just close your eyes, palms together. 1 Om and 3 Shanti. Inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently release your palms, softly open your eyes. Okay. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. I really hope it records.